The last time I animated was 6 years ago in 2020, so let's try it again. It has been 6 years since I actually animated. Now, I have made animatics in these past 6 years. 3 full ones if I'm not mistaken, and 1 abandoned one from 2022. But animatics and animations are different for their frame rate. Animatics use more still pictures and less frames, while animations are the usual frame-by-frame drawn movement vids, where each and every single movement of certain things that they're animating, I know how to speak, is drawn out and put together in a really fast movement per second so that it looks natural, while animatics use less of that, use more so just the idea or illusion or transitions and stuff so that it looks like the picture is moving. And in 2020 I did like 3 full-on animations if I'm not mistaken. I think it was 3, but I must have made more so ideas, and I think that there's actually one that I abandoned as well. That I actually started drawing out digitally, but I'm pretty sure that I have like storyboards in my sketchbooks of different animations that I had in mind that I never actually got around to. Sure that they were also simpler ones, just like I do? No, I did here in the back, which we will get to later. I remember one was an obviously blinking animation with some floating fluids doing floaty stuff around, so that like while the character was blinking, the fluids were like moving up and down. I'm pretty sure that the character was also crying, so that it showed like those fluids floating around were actually their tears. I think that I actually showed that one in a video, in a past video. I wouldn't be able to know which video it was, okay? I have over 100 videos on this channel. I can't remember each and every single one of those, okay? I can barely remember what happened yesterday and what happened like 2 hours ago. But I think that that animation is actually quite cool. I think that it turned out quite good for what I knew how to do at the time. But it's like a simpler one, right? It's just a character blinking, and then even though the cry animation is what pushed that further. Either way, that was one of those. Then I did one. There was another one. I think that this one was the most complex one that I made, which was a character holding a bird like on their finger or something. Like a bird had just, flown there, and the bird was like turning around and tugging their hair, and they were like blinking in surprise, basically. Which that one, I don't even know where that one went, if I even have that one still. But that one was the most complex one that I made. And then there was one of Leo that I made further at the end of the year. Those other 2 were made like more so in the beginning. That one was of him basically in the wind, and his scarf was like moving in the wind along with his hair. Obviously, you need at least one animation of wind doing windy stuff. You need it. And I'm pretty sure that I had made another one of Leo, Love of My Life. I will never tell the milk bath story, doesn't matter how much you beg me to, of where he was drinking coffee and like his scarf would move again in the wind, and like I would try animating the steam of that. Like I didn't even know how to draw steam, yet for some reason I was pushing myself to animate steam doing steam stuff as if it would work out. That isn't how things worked. But what I really appreciate of myself 6 years ago is just how much audacity I had. I could barely even draw and was tackling all these ideas that I couldn't even actually truly pursue the way that I imagined. And even when I did and it didn't look exactly how these professional artists were drawing, I was happy because I actually did it. And it gave me the illusion of that. And I was like, this is great. The more I practice, the more like my visions will come to life. It's impressive. Nowadays do I do that? Do I know to do that? I don't even know. Back in the day, at least 2020 or so, would I count 2019? I would count more so 2020. I was really creative. It's really interesting to look back. Honestly, quite inspiring of myself. What would my past self think if I ever told them, like, you would inspire yourself later? I don't know, but I was just full of ideas and full of these concepts that I wanted to tackle and whatnot. It's something that I should get back to and study again and really push myself towards. Either way, I remember that I had fun animating because I did those. I think I did those quite fast, but at the same time, like, I took my time to make them, and I did those. And I had fun while doing them, but then for some reason I just stopped. I think that it was because, well, I have less time than I do back then, but also, it's not like animations take that long. I just sort of convinced myself that you need an excruciating amount of time to make animations, but I actually did this one in a, well, quite fast fashion. I don't know if I would really consider it fast. I think I would. I think that other artists wouldn't really. I mean, they would take their time. That's the thing, right? They wouldn't just push it like crazy. There could be some, of course. Like, I can't say that I'm unique in any way. I'm really not. But I'm on a quicker side of things, so I did this one quite fast. And I just sort of convinced myself that I can't, when I clearly can, so I guess that's something to think about for the future. Either way, those were the 3 animations that I did in 2020, which were the last animations that I made. Then there was the actual first animation that I ever made. That was made back in 2019 with a Selena blinking animation. Of course, the first animation every artist makes has to be either a blinking animation or hair moving in the wind. There's no other option, okay? It's one or the other. Or both combined, if you're crazy. I did that one on Flip-A-Clip too on my phone. Oh my god, like at the time, Flip-A-Clip was already considered quite bad, okay? It wasn't considered as horrible as it is nowadays. Like nowadays, it's considered unusable as far as I know. I have no idea why. I don't use Flip-A-Clip. I haven't even thought about Flip-A-Clip in 7 years. Oh my god. Either way, that's insane. To do something on Flip-A-Clip, that's crazy, okay? Afterwards, I solely focused on animatics after those animations. Since those were quicker and easier to make, I could get an idea of movement using transitions with less frames, and that way I could easily get more of my stories across in a quicker way. That's what I did with the Sounds of Summer animatic as well. And of course with my most recent ones from the end of last year, the 666 missed calls and the person you're calling is missing or the person you're trying to reach is missing. I'm unsure of which one of those 2 titles is the actual title of the video. Actually, in the 666 missed calls video, I did try animating again with the frame by frame thing. There is one little section in there where I try drawing my persona standing up. I think, what happens? Let's see. They get a call, they pick up, or I think that that's the point, right? They get up to pick the call up. Is that it? I don't know. But they get up, I think to answer the phone or something. I don't even remember. I did that one in a state of complete insanity, okay? I barely remember what happened. Either way, that standing up animation was supposed to be an actual animation, but I don't know if I can really count that as a full animation. I don't even know why. It's like this thing where that is supposed to be the point of animations, right? You draw like a few frames and then when you put them together, it's just like a second or 2 long. That's why I pretty much don't consider it an animation, because it's just too short, which makes no sense. But at the same time, I just can't call it an animation, because it just doesn't feel right to me. Either way, that one is technically animated, but I wouldn't consider it as such, because it's like inside of an animatic in itself, and it just doesn't feel right, okay? So, today we're making an actual animation. We're working on this pixel art of my characters from those dog days to turn it into an animation. Remember how in the video where I made this drawing specifically, I told you all I had plans for this drawing? Yes, this was my plan. That's why I separated those into 2 panels, because I had the idea of separating those later and turning each one of those drawings into their own thing and then animating it. That's what we're doing today. My idea is 1. Make different groups for the different frames. If you don't know what groups are, it's basically different folders, but in Krita it's called groups. 2. Copy and paste the different parts of this drawing so that I have everything separate that I can animate. For example, I separate Bimba Angel, I separate Slenderman, separate the 2 different backgrounds into their own thing. 3. Draw over it to animate the parts I want to animate, all in different layers, of course, so that we have like the frame by frame thing. 4, I think, because I already lost myself, export things and then increase the resolution of the drawing, because this is a pixel art, so it's drawn on a really small canvas and we can't use that small canvas to actually do what we do. And 5, edit the frames in Davinci Resolve, which is my editing program that I use. So, what I want to animate in each thing is Bimba Angel sort of offering the fertilizer. What they're holding is a little bag of fertilizer, like holding it up to Slenderman. So they'd be sort of bringing it up and down, sort of like shaking it, I guess, sort of. And because of the arm movement, their hair and that one little dangly bit from the deer hat would move as well, because that's just how physics and impact work, I guess. Which, by the way, I forgot their horns for the majority of the video, but I'll add it later, okay? Don't worry about that. I know that I'm mentioning it already now. Just so you know, later on, they'll get their horns. For the arm movement, I have 3 static ones where they move up and into the position of the original image. And then in between those 3, I add 2 sort of shaken ones to really enhance the movement. I don't exactly know how to describe this, but I'm pretty sure that you can see it in the back right now. I hope so. It's sort of like an almost blurry drawing, like it's like really spiky and stuff. I've seen animators do that before to not have to animate each and every single bit of frame to add the movement in itself. It sort of saves time? I wouldn't know. I'm doing this without watching a tutorial to see where I'm at animation-wise, because I know I'm very far down, okay? I have like no idea whatsoever, any animation skill. I don't have anything. I just know that you have to draw each and every single part, and I know this one little blurry drawing movement bit, okay? That's all that I know. Afterwards, in a future video, we'll push our animation skills further by watching tutorials and trying to follow those. Then for Tree Man, which is Slenderman in this universe. If you didn't know, Those Dog Days is a Slenderverse story that I plan on turning into a game whenever I have a strong device and time. I plan on making his branches move just slightly. Like, he is a tree, okay, so he is pretty static, but since his branches are like sort of twigs and whatnot, then it would make sense that those would move in the wind, right? But to add some more to him, because his animation would be like too simple, I decided to make the background behind him glisten, since his head is supposed to sort of imitate the moon for camouflaging purposes. Bimba Angel was probably the longest part to animate by changing up and down the arms over and over and over again, making them match sort of so that the movement looks natural. Then doing the same for the hair, and then doing the same for the hat thing, and then once again adding some bounce to the bow attached to the dangly part of the hat thing, then do the blinking, and just it took a while, okay? With Slenderman, it was just an easy copy and paste, erase a little bit, make some wiggly branch lines, move slightly, then add the color and do that once more and done. It was very easy, right, in comparison to Bimba Angel. That's why I started with Bimba Angel first, so that I would have that hard part right out of the way already and could just focus on then like doing the little parts, and then boom, it will be done really fast. I could just do for Slenderman like a really thick line art and then add some turquoise on top afterwards, which was really nice. Doing this in pixel art helps too, because pixel art is simple, it's easy to animate, right? It's just very easy and quick to draw. If I were doing something more complex, it would probably be a bit more complicated, and with a bit, I mean a lot. But overall, I just wanted to get a hang for things before I decided to tackle something way out of my range like I used to do in 2020. Look, I've been really stressed lately, okay? So if I decide to do something, I would just abandon it, okay? I have a tendency to do that, which is why I also draw very fast. And I didn't want to do that. If for some reason you're wondering what has been stressing me, just life, okay? One of my cats got seriously sick, one of my dogs is seriously sick, and our economic situation never really helps. Then I have 2 jobs to work on, and yeah, it's quite a bit of stuff going on. So doing this to see where I'm at was good. By doing this way, I was able to actually finish the whole animation, which is what I intended. I didn't want to abandon it, and neither did I really have the time to abandon it and make something else. Like, I finished it. That's what matters, right? I now know where I'm at. I learned at least one new thing since 2020, which was 6 years ago. In 6 years, I've learned one animation thing. It's better than nothing. So I was able to finish it. Not that it would have taken long anyways, I just don't really have the time for that. Like, I could have made the hat move on top too, like those bows up there, I could have made them bounce, and the ears, I could have added some movement to it, which was the initial plan. But I wasn't able to, okay? I'm sorry. I have no idea what I should animate next though, so if you have any suggestions, I'd appreciate them. Like, I tend to save artists' animations to study later how they do certain things, so maybe I could get inspired by more folders of animations that I have on multiple platforms, but I prefer your input. The best part of having a small community is being able to chat with you all, so if you want to leave an idea down below in the comments, I'd actually really appreciate that. The next time I animate will probably be months from now. Let's see. This video comes out around the end of June, sort of ish, I think around that time. And we have some videos planned until the beginning of October. Damn, I didn't know that my planning freak side was so ahead of themselves. You know what, that makes sense, knowing myself. Either way, this was an enjoyable experience, and it made me realize I should actually do this more often. I do see a lot of artists do, like, not just animatics, but animations too. I feel like I see artists do more animations than animatics, now that I think about it. Either way, I see a lot of artists that not just artists that I follow, but also like random artists that pop up in my feed, do animations and stuff. It just makes me want to join, it makes me want to draw stuff. For example, I did those animatics last year of, other than like the big ones, right, on my YouTube, I did also do 2 short ones of Selena and she interact. Those were probably ones of my favorites. I just think they're both really silly and cute, and I really want to do that more often. I would love to make something of Jellish, my boy, my beloved. I really need to bring him to life. I think that the most fun thing of animating is seeing your actual characters and stories come to life and actually move, like an actual being that's there and not just static. Which drawing them and being able to draw them is cool and all. The movement part, it just brings a different life to it, and it gives a different sort of fulfillment artistically. It's just really nice, and I should do that more often. If I had more time, I wish I would. This is not a healthy thought and don't follow it, but sometimes I wish that I could still destroy my sleeping schedule so that I could just spend the entire night drawing. But I can't, and neither should I, okay? If you're young, don't do that. Follow your sleeping schedule. Sleep is really important. As someone who sleeps like on a normal, how do you say it? A normal schedule, I guess. Someone who has a normal sleeping schedule, I can tell you, when I didn't have a sleeping schedule, my life was just really shitty, okay? Now that I'm having a normal one, very nice. Well, not now because my cat doesn't let me, but that's fine. He's sick. He has the authority for it. Not that I mind. I'm more so worried about his health, right? But he's fine now, okay? He's fine. If you were worried, he's fine now. He's getting better. That's all that matters. And I'm really glad for it, okay? Either way, are you ready for the finished result? Are you? You better be prepared, because this one's going to just blink by really fast, okay? I will include a few versions either way. Ta-da! Here is our little animation of Angel offering some fertilizer to the tree. This is really simple, but it turned out really cute. The end result is probably the best part of animating, so trying to find something that makes the end result worth the time spent is crucial. I hope you all have a nice day or night, and I will see you all next time. Bye!